Welcome to our English learning podcast. I'm James, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Maria. How are you today, Maria?
Hi, James. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm excited about today's episode. How about you?
I'm great, thanks. Today is episode 23, and we're talking about something that everyone can relate to, our daily routines. It's something we all have, whether we love it or think it's boring.
Yes, exactly. Daily routines can be really interesting. Some people have very strict routines, while others are more relaxed. So, James, what does your daily routine look like?
Well, my daily routine usually starts with waking up early in the morning. I like to wake up around 6:30 a.m. I get out of bed, stretch a little, and then I go straight to the kitchen for my favorite breakfast: toast with peanut, butter, and a banana. What about you, Maria? How do you start your day?
I wish I could say I wake up early. I usually get up around 7 a.m. My first task is to hit the snooze button on my alarm clock at least 3 times. It's like a game for me. After that, I finally get out of bed and head to the kitchen. I usually make a big cup of coffee because I need it to wake up properly.
I totally get that. Coffee is a must for many people. After breakfast, I like to go for a short walk to wake myself up even more. I find that it helps me feel fresh and ready for the day. Do you have any morning rituals, Maria?
Yes, I do. After my coffee, I make sure to do a little stretching. It wakes up my body and I feel much better. I also like to take a few minutes to read something positive or inspirational. It really sets a good mood for the day.
That sounds lovely. I think starting the day with something positive is a great idea. After my walk, I usually take a shower, get dressed, and then I check my emails. I like to know what I need to do for the day. Do you check your emails in the morning too?
Oh yes, I do. I can't resist. I check my emails while I'm having breakfast. Sometimes, I find something interesting or important that I need to take care of right away. It's like starting my day with a little surprise.
That's true. Sometimes emails can bring good news or they can be a bit stressful. Speaking of stress, how do you usually manage your days? Do you plan everything out or do you just go with the flow?
I try to plan my days, but I'm not always perfect at it. I use a planner to write down my tasks, but sometimes unexpected things happen. If I have a busy day, I like to make a to-do list. It feels so satisfying to check things off. Do you make lists?
Yes, I love making lists. There's something really nice about writing things down and then crossing them off. It gives me a sense of achievement. After I check my emails, I usually spend a few hours working on my projects. I work as a graphic designer, so I get to be creative. What do you do for work?
I work in marketing, which means I help companies promote their products. My job keeps me busy, and I have to be organized. I often have meetings during the day, so I try to stay on top of my schedule.
Meetings can be a bit dull sometimes, can't they? I always try to keep them short and to the point. I mean, who wants to sit in a meeting that goes on forever? How do you feel about long meetings?
Oh, I totally agree. Long meetings can be really tiring. I prefer quick meetings where we discuss what needs to be done. And sometimes, I try to bring a little humor into the meeting to lighten the mood. It helps everyone stay awake.
That's a great idea. A little humor can go a long way. After my work in the morning, I usually take a short break. I like to step outside for some fresh air. It's important to take breaks to stay focused, right?
Absolutely. I try to take breaks too. Sometimes I just walk around my office or stretch a little. And if I'm feeling really tired, I might even do a quick dance. It's fun and wakes me up.
A dance break sounds awesome. I might have to try that. After my break, I usually get back to work, and then I have lunch around noon. I like to make something simple, like a salad or a sandwich. What do you usually eat for lunch?
I love to have a big salad for lunch. I put all kinds of vegetables in it, and I often add some chicken or tuna for protein. It makes me feel energized for the afternoon.
That sounds healthy. I try to eat well too, but sometimes I just grab whatever is easy. After lunch, I usually have a few more hours of work before I finish for the day. Do you have a set time when you finish work?
Yes, I usually finish around 5 p.m., but sometimes, if I have a lot of work, I stay a little longer. I try not to, though. It's important to have time for myself after work. What do you do after your workday?
After work, I like to relax a little. I usually go to the gym or take a long walk. It helps me unwind after a long day. I also enjoy listening to music or podcasts while I exercise. What about you? How do you relax after work?
I love to read books in the evening. Sometimes, I watch a little TV or catch up on my favorite shows. It's nice to escape into a different world for a while. And if I'm feeling social, I might meet up with friends for dinner.
Meeting friends sounds fun. I enjoy spending time with friends too. It's a great way to connect and share stories about our days. Do you have a favorite place to go with friends?
Yes, there's a cozy little cafe in my neighborhood where we like to hang out. They have the best desserts. We always end up talking and laughing for hours. What about you? Do you have a favorite spot?
I love going to a local park. It's peaceful and I enjoy being surrounded by nature. Sometimes I bring a book or just sit on a bench and people watch. It's a nice way to relax and enjoy the evening.
That sounds lovely. I think it's important to have some downtime after a busy day. It helps us recharge for the next day. Speaking of which, what time do you usually go to bed?
I try to go to bed around 10:30 p.m. I like to read a little before I sleep. It helps me relax. What about you, Maria? Are you a night owl or an early bird?
I would say I'm more of a night owl. I sometimes stay up later than I should, especially if I'm reading a good book. But I try to get enough sleep because I know it's important.
That's true. Sleep is essential for feeling good the next day. So to sum it up, our daily routines help us stay organized and balanced. They can be different for everyone, but they all play an important role in our lives.
Absolutely. And adding a little fun or humor into our routines can make things even better. It's all about finding what works for you and keeping a good balance.
Exactly. Well, that's it for today's episode. We hope our listeners enjoyed hearing about our daily routines. Remember, everyone has their own way of doing things, and that's perfectly okay.
Yes, thank you for joining us on this episode about daily routines. We hope you learned something new and had a few laughs along the way.
Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time on our English Learning Podcast.
Goodbye, everyone. Happy routine making.